All right, let's get into the box office results.
Okay, go ahead.
No, this is all you, honey. You love these box office numbers.
All right. Well, look, I brought some numbers today. I wrote some stuff
Oh, thank
down
God.
or typed it in, so I would
Ken
better
is
know what I'm talking
prepared. Ken
about.
is prepared.
But yeah, we'll get into it later, just all the records and stuff. But
Yeah.
this was a very fruitful weekend for the box office. At the theater, Barbenheimer delivered. The hype delivered.
It
got people
absolutely
out.
did.
It got people excited. There's people that I work with that don't usually talk about movies and going to the movies.
Right.
We talk about movies, but they don't talk about being excited to go out and see like the latest
Yeah.
movie. And they're like, I feel like I got to go see both of these movies.
Right.
I got to see Oppenheimer and I got to see Barbie. So
Yeah.
Barbie, I think we talked about last week, maybe cracking 100. Like I felt like it had that momentum.
Yeah.
But going into this weekend, they were talking about 20 million previews on Thursday night. And
right.
then the biggest opening day of the year, it surpassed Mario. I'm sorry. And I was like, man, this thing has got some momentum. And then we heard it was going to make 150 million opening weekend.
Right.
And it has settled on 162 million opening weekend, which is insane. Like we haven't seen a movie do these kind of numbers since like I think Spider-Man No Way Home. Maybe?
And also, let me add that Mario came out on a Wednesday. Barbie came out on a Thursday. So it even had one less day and still made a lot more.
Yeah, it shattered expectations. People, I you know what I think it is? I think that people
don't you take my thought.
These underserved characters is what I was going to say. There's not a, Mario and Barbie. People were starved for these characters on the screen.
Well, I think I shared
They got a Mario movie in the 90s, but it was, not so great. Kind of disappointed people. But they wanted a legitimate Mario film and they wanted a legitimate Barbie film. And they were just excited to see these two IPs on the screen.
Well, I think I shared something that was talking about how it's proof that people want something like original.
Yeah.
Instead of like the sequels over and over and
and I mean not necessarily like original because obviously these are based on existing IPs, but the first time ever being put out, and it's something different. So I just think that people were excited. And like I said, it got built up into this whole thing with it and Oppenheimer. And
okay, so keep going.
So Oppenheimer. This is the one that honestly probably surprised me the most. And honestly, I don't want to bring Barbie down or anything like that, but 82 million for Oppenheimer is very impressive, especially considering it's a 3-hour movie.
Right.
So 82 million for Oppenheimer. I was thinking this movie would make like 40, 50 million.
Right.
With the hype. So that's incredibly impressive numbers. And I mean, obviously the IMAX experience and the fact that you have to get out to the theater to see this really drove it. But I am curious, like how much crossover is there between Barbie and Oppenheimer? Like, I wonder if we'll ever get those statistics, like who went to go do both of those movies in the same weekend. I would definitely be curious to find that out. But incredible weekend. Both of these movies together in their opening weekend. This is just domestically. We'll talk about, worldwide here in a second. Did 244 million. Yeah. So, I mean, that's it's an incredible weekend for the box office. It kind of makes me think that everybody was waiting for these two movies. That's why every other movie this year's done so poorly.
Yeah.
But just incredible. And coming in at number 3 is The Sound of Freedom.
Yeah.
Which is so surprising again, because I expected Mission Impossible to be in this spot.
I know. Crazy.
And it is not in this spot. The Sound of Freedom, $20 million. I think it made 27 million last weekend or something.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie's got legs and it's taken off and it's got word of mouth. I've heard people at work also talking about this movie.
Yeah. I mean,
want to go see it.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it actually is getting me to maybe want to go see it.
Yeah.
But Sound of Freedom, I got down 19.8 million domestic, and it's made 124 million total.
It's crazy.
Domestic. And let me get into a few more before we switch it. Mission Impossible 7 made 19.3 million, so it was right below Sound of Freedom, but it still made less.
Crazy.
This was a 66% drop for Mission Impossible 7. I think it's done. It's pretty much dead in the water right now.
Right. I think so.
And I
too.
knew it was going to run into Barbie and Oppenheimer and kind of lose some steam, a lot of steam. And it has. I mean, 66%, like that's not good. That's what usual like Marvel movies suffer, like in the first weekend drop.
Right.
But this, for Mission Impossible, it only made 57 million opening weekend.
Yeah.
It sucks. I mean, it's a great movie. I really enjoyed Mission Impossible 7. So, but I just, like you said, they timed it all wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think that Tom Cruise anticipated Barbie and Oppenheimer being such juggernauts.
Right. I definitely think they underestimated what like the phenomenon that was going to happen with those two movies.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not over yet. I think the movie will end up making its money back, but it's not going to be an overwhelming success. It's not going to make a huge profit like Top Gun Maverick. So to say that the movie is a success just because it broke even, I don't think so. This has to be extremely disappointing for Paramount and the studios for sure, and Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
I'm sure is very disappointed. But he has to respect the game, I mean, Barbie, Oppenheimer, they put on some cinematic achievements there. But it made 118 million total domestic right now. And he didn't see Sound of Freedom coming either. Sound of Freedom currently has made more at the box office than Mission Impossible 7.
Wow.
Domestically. And Mission Impossible 7 made 371 million worldwide so far. So it has gotten over its budget, but it's got to get past advertising and all that stuff to make its money back. Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny, 6.7 million, came at number 5. 155 million total domestic, 336 million worldwide. So it's just surpassed its budget. So that movie is going to take a loss for sure because it's almost done with its theatrical run. Insidious: The Red Door, 6.6 million. In its third weekend, 71 million total domestic, 156 million worldwide. So that movie's doing insanely well. I'm sure it was, wasn't it budgeted like 15 million or something?
I can't remember.
So that movie's going to make a ton of money for Sony. And Elemental, 5.7 million domestic, 137 million total domestic, and 358 million worldwide for that movie. But Oppenheimer, getting back to it, worldwide has made, I told you I got a lot of numbers.
Too many numbers.
Oppenheimer has made 180 million worldwide this weekend, and Barbie made 356 million worldwide this weekend.
Crazy.
So about $500 million for both of those worldwide. And it's not a Marvel movie. It's not a Star Wars movie. It's not an Avatar movie.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see, to me, different movies, killing it at the box office.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the Marvel superhero crap. I want different stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
I realized that last night when I saw Oppenheimer. Just felt nice.
All right. Well, there's our box office numbers.
Yeah.